Oh my god. There it is. Spiš Castle. Nah, I'm kidding, it's right here. That does look amazing though.
Having spent about a week in Poland, I was setting off from Krakow with an entirely new destination in mind. In particular, I was headed for central Slovakia, the countryside of which I was really looking forward to having the opportunity to hike through. So, after a little while spent waiting for my bus, I was well on my way. My main destination of interest was the 900-year-old Spiš Castle, located in Žera, Slovakia. But in order to get there was a several hours long bus ride from southern Poland, although the scenery was beautiful to say the least. And after a few short stops, we were well on our way. Stocking up on some food and water, I then waited for my taxi that would take me to my hotel.
Centrum alebo Castle?
Once we were out of town, the views became even more scenic. Arriving at my hotel, it was almost time to begin the hike itself.
Okay, you have to look at this. That is so pretty.
Remembering my lessons from Latvia, I packed lots of water and continued on my way.
Alright, leaving the hotel now. Let's see what today has in store for me. Okay, so there's actually this cool looking monastery thing up here. I will try and check it out. Oh yeah, look at that. Definitely will have to take a look at that.
It was a bit of a hike, but I wanted to take a closer look before reaching Spiš Castle. And the views were incredible, to say the least.
Well, it may be locked, but I tell you what, from here you can really see the countryside really well. Also, there's something coming out of the ground.
I'd found a little spring in the mud. To be honest, the smelled absolutely rancid, but it was pretty cool to see.
But on the Spiš Castle.
The hike would take me through quite a bit of the countryside, which was really pretty, and to be honest, I really enjoyed this walk. It wasn't too intense, there weren't too many hills. It was challenging, but at the same time, pretty leisurely.
Spiš Castle. Nah, I'm kidding, it's right here. That does look amazing though. Well, that's where we're walking to.
A little bit more hiking, and I was almost at the base of the castle.
Castle's just behind the trees now, but I am getting closer. Have about an hour left to go, a little more. So it shouldn't be too long now. Although in the past, it's usually proven to be much longer. Can I get over this? Can you imagine living here and having this as your view? In the middle of town now. That would be a view I could get used to. And here it is. Now for the climb.
Okay, to interrupt for a moment, this was a surprisingly difficult climb. I would highly recommend visiting this castle, but if you ever do visit, it really is quite a hike to the top. There is a way to drive up. Of course, me being me, I decided not to take a taxi. I even needed a break halfway up the hill.
Tell you what, there's no shortage of good views in this country. Okay, onward and upward.
As I neared the castle itself, it really was stunningly beautiful. I mean, I knew I was in for something that was going to be really cool, but this was just amazing.
At long last, I made it to the entrance.
The castle itself is around 900 years old. It's passed through the hands of various noble families, and as you can imagine, it has quite a rich history. There have been several films which have been shot here as well, and it's quite popular with individuals who are venturing to central Slovakia.
Castle aside, take a look at the view.
I spent the next few hours exploring the castle and everything it had to offer. There's really a lot to do here. There's a lot of different sections of the castle that are open to the public. There is a fee you have to pay in order to get inside, but I would highly recommend visiting this monument. It is really cool, and you can easily spend a few hours here. There's even an old tower you can climb where you can get an absolutely phenomenal view of the surrounding area. Plus, there's a lot more of the castle grounds that you can explore, and I spent the next hour and a half or so just enjoying the scenery and taking in the atmosphere.
So one of the really interesting things about Spiš Castle is essentially that it was built into the limestone that was already protruding from the hill that it sits on, just like you can see here.
After getting a few pictures, I decided it was time to make my way back down.
Okay, that was really cool. Now I'm going to make my way back down the hill and get some dinner. Okay, the way down is definitely a lot less strenuous. And I can enjoy the views a bit more.
Slovakia really has a lot to offer in terms of its natural beauty.
It's even prettier at sunset.
Making my way back, there were a lot of great sights, and ultimately I can say this was a phenomenal journey.